I think I have figured out how to understand phrasal verbs. Is that so? It's all about this little thing of this verb. For example, up. It means in that direction, yeah, upwards. If I do something up, I just add up after the verb. Okay, look up the sky. What? Why? Oh, what a beautiful bird. What is it? I don't know. Let's look it up on the internet. Look it up? But the internet isn't up, it's right here. You know, I've always looked up to you. I wish I was as dedicated as you are. Oh, I see where this is going. Well, it seems I could use your help with phrasal verbs. If you feel that you need some help too, stay with me to go through 10 common particles used in phrasal verbs, their literal and figurative meaning, and to understand how to make phrasal verbs you need using this logic. And of course, I'll provide you with a lot of examples to show how all of this works in practice. In my latest video, I spoke about what a phrasal verb is and how to understand its meaning from the context and focusing on the particle it contains. I will link it down below in case you haven't watched it yet. Don't forget, new knowledge is only good when you put it in practice. So feel free to pause the video and do little tasks I'm going to ask you to. So let's get started. Up literally means moving to a higher position or level. So if we add up to a verb of movement, it will mean performing this action upwards. For example, she walked up the stairs. What else can we literally do up? Share your examples in the comments. However, the particle up also has its figurative meaning, which, depending on the context, may be increasing, improving, completing, creating, starting or ending something. When something gets better, bigger, develops in a certain way, or reaches its limits. It's an amazing exercise to build up your confidence. Build up means to improve. The company is planning to scale up production. To scale up means to increase. After the rain stopped, the puddles began to dry up quickly in the warm sun. To dry up means to complete the process of getting dry. I took up running, as my friend told me it was a perfect way to cope with anxiety. Took up means started running. Who came up with this brilliant idea? Came up means created. Although I am all for logic here and trying to provide you with the clearest and the most straightforward meanings of the particles, there is always room for the phrasal verbs, which we need to accept as they are. Let's take a look at some of them. Put up with means to tolerate. We just need to put up with it. To turn up means to appear. I'm so happy you turned up. Look up, used to speak about information we need to find in different resources. Try not to look up the answers on the internet. Look up to someone, to see someone as a role model for you. I have always looked up to my grandma for her wisdom and kindness. If something can be, go, or perform any other actions up, it most certainly can do the same down. Literally means moving to a lower position or level. So if we add down to a verb of movement, we literally will do this action downwards. For example, he finished the book and put it down on the table. He saw a car coming down the road. I reached down and tried to grab it. But guess what? This particle has its figurative meanings, which are reducing, collapsing, feeling bad, or moving along something. Let the food cool down before you put it in the freezer. To cool down means to reduce its temperature. The wind blew strongly for a few hours, but then it started to die down. To die down means to reduce its intensity. He was offered an excellent job, but he turned it down. Turn down means to decline the offer. If I drive down this road, will I get to the high street? Drive down the road means to drive along the road. He fell down after losing the game. To feel down means to feel sad or depressed. Some phrasal verbs I couldn't come up with a logical explanation for. Maybe you can. Let somebody down means to break someone's hopes. We are relying on you to do this. You will not let us down, will you? Get down to means to start some activity. Let's get down to business. It sounds like it's a literate meaning, to get down, to sit down at the desk and start doing something. Look down on somebody means to treat somebody with disrespect. He used to look down on people without a degree. In its literal meaning, the particle on is used as a preposition of place, showing that something is literally on the surface. For example, the laptop is on the desk. When it comes to its figurative meaning, things are getting more interesting. I guess everybody knows the phrasal verb to put on about clothes. There are other phrasal verbs which follow the same pattern. Having heard the car coming, she pulled on the coat and left. When it got colder, I slipped on the sweater. Wait a moment, I will throw on the jacket. To throw on means to put on fast. Why don't you try it on? To try on means to see if it fits. Other meanings are continuing, engaging in something, or making progress. They just kept on talking about how fun it was. To keep on talking means to continue talking. He pressed on despite the obstacles. To press on means to persist. Are you getting on with the project? Get on means to have some progress. I don't hear the music. Is it on? Means is it still playing? One more way to use on is to speak about starting something. Why isn't it working? Well, maybe because you haven't switched it on. It's getting dark. I will turn on my lamp. I am on it means I am taking responsibility and starting to do the task. Opposite to on, something can be off. When using phrasal verbs with this particle, chances are we'll stick to the meaning of removing, separating, or cancelling something. After such a long walk, I just want to take off my shoes. Opposite to put on, take off means to remove the shoes from your feet. Crack each egg and peel off the shell. Peel off the shell means to remove the shell. I can't wipe off the dust. Wipe off means to remove the dust. This road is temporarily closed off due to the road works. Closed off means blocked, separated from the main road. The meeting was called off at the last minute. Called off means cancelled. I have paid off all my debts. Paid off means separated from the debts, removed them. I am off on vacation till the end of August. To be off means to be not here, to be separated from the place. I have been to the airport to see my father off. To see off means to accompany a person to some point and say goodbye then. Another important particle used to create a great deal of everyday phrasal verbs is in some cases into. Most meanings of the preposition in are similar to its literal one of being inside something. That is, entering, inserting, including, or taking part. The hackers broke into the servers. Broke in or into means got inside illegally. Please drop in to see us when you are in town. Drop in means come to visit. You will be asked to fill in the questionnaire. To fill in means to insert your information. That sounds like fun. You can count me in or I am in. To be in or to count me in means to include me as a participant. Avoid tours that pack in too many people. Pack in means include. Another meaning of the preposition into is changing someone or something's state, becoming someone or something, or persuading somebody to do something. For example, their idea blossomed into a full-grown business. Blossomed into means became. We have watched him grow into a fine young man. Grow into means become. The book is being turned into a TV series. Turned into means transformed. I never meant to drag you into this. Drag into to persuade to do some activity. I'm going to try to talk her into taking a day trip to Italy. Talk into means to persuade. Well, of course, in pair with in, we're going to deal with out, which basically has the opposite meaning. That is, being outside, doing something outwards, leaving, removing, or distributing something. He would never go out without letting us know. Go out means to leave the house. When I heard about it, I burst out laughing. Burst out laughing means that the laughter was spread out of the person. They love hanging out together. Hang out means to be somewhere outside. He was so angry he stormed out of the room. Storm out means to leave angrily. He dropped out of the training course because it was too difficult. Dropped out means left without finishing it. Another meaning of the particle out is researching or finding something. For example, it took some time for me to figure out how to juggle all my responsibilities. To figure out means to find a solution. Today, it is difficult to single out the films which would be purely detective. To single out means to find. He couldn't make out what they were saying. Make out means understand. Although there is another meaning of the phrasal verb make out, which is to kiss. It is a very informal expression. Another particle which is commonly used in phrasal verbs is through. Its literal meaning is moving from one side to another, or from the beginning to the end of something. We walked through the forest to reach the lake, which means we passed from one side of the forest to another one. Its figurative meanings are actually pretty similar: completing something, overcoming, searching, or examining something. I need to read through this document before the meeting means to read from the beginning to the end. She had to go through a lot of challenges to achieve her goals. Go through means to overcome. Let's go through the details of the contract before signing it. Go through means examine carefully. Take a minute to think this through before you do it. Think through means to think carefully. The next particle, across, in phrasal verbs typically conveys meanings related to encountering or finding something, communicating, or moving from one side to another. I came across an old photo album in the attic. Came across means found unexpectedly. He struggled to get his point across during the meeting. Means to communicate his point. We need to walk across the bridge to get to the other side. Means to move from one side of the bridge to another one. The particle along in phrasal verbs is generally used with the meanings related to moving forward, literally, going or doing something together, or making progress. We walked along the beach 4 miles. It means moved forward. Would you like to come along to the concert? Means to come to the concert with me. The project is coming along nicely, means is progressing nicely. And the last particle for today's video is around, which means moving or going to different places. Going here and there, doing some actions without a specific purpose. Distributing or sharing. He walked around the park looking for his dogs. He walked here and there in the park. The best way to get around is by car, means to go here and there in the city. Would you like me to show you around? To show you different places. They will be sniffing around to see if they could find anything. Means they will be going here and there looking for information. They spent this afternoon just hanging around. They spent time without specific purpose. He passed his snacks around to everybody in the room. Means he distributed his snacks. Right, that was a lot of information to digest. I hope this video was useful and interesting. Let me know in the comments. Also, try practicing what you learned today. Choose 3 particles we have covered and write your examples of phrasal verbs down in the comment section. Thank you for being with me this time and see you in the next video.